Okay guys, welcome back. Sorry I didn't do as many videos there last week. I wasn't feeling the greatest, had a bit of a cold, and my voice was kind of just fucked up, so I just didn't feel like talking, didn't feel like doing the videos, but we're back at it. You didn't miss anything. The only thing you missed was we finished off blocking the 70 VW, and it's off for paint. So the bug is off for paint, and as soon as it gets back, we will show you some photographs of it. So other than that, that's about all what was going on. Darren managed to get the Porsche fired up with the 350 that he put in it. He got it fired up. It's got some issues. I think it's got some bad injectors. EGR valve is not operating. So there's a few issues with the motor. And the customer supplied the motor. It was a good used motor that he got off of somebody. And you know, that's just, that shit happens. You know, when you don't actually get to hear the motor running, you're buying something that's out of a car, all you can do is take the guy's word for it. And the motor itself, though, looked good inside because Darren and I had the oil pan off because we had to change the pan to a different pan. And it definitely looked like a very clean, good motor inside, but it's just got a couple issues on the outside. So once we, injectors are down, getting cleaned up at Valley Injection Service. So once they get the injectors back and they tell us that they're good, bad, or what the hell's going on, we will get them in, and then we'll show you guys a video of that old Porsche running. Hopefully it'll be running on all 8 cylinders rather than like the 4 or 5 or 6 it was on, but it definitely wasn't on 8. But anyway, so you see I got the 37 Ford of Dan's sitting down on the ground. Now as you notice, I got the fenders on there. Man, look at the gap between that fender, eh? Holy shit. Look at the gap between that tire and that fender. Holy man. That sucker's got to come down a foot. Anyway, Dan will be working on that. But anyway, we'll get around the back here. Let me open this door up so I can sneak around the back here. So you can see I got the back pan all welded in there. So that's looking good. And of course I pre-fit the fenders. I'm putting the fenders on, as you can see. You got to put the fenders on when you're doing the back pan. You want to see how everything's going to fit. Obviously I've got to line it up really nice, and of course the fenders do have slotted holes up and behind here where they bolt on, and it allows you probably got a 1/4 inch of movement either way. So that's good, and the fender fits really nice up in here too, and we've done nothing to anything. This is just the way it is, so that's a good thing. I'll close this up because we're letting the heat out of the shop out. So Dan's car is coming along. If you remember, it had no floor before. Well, look at that. It's got a complete floor now. Except for the tranny tunnel back there. I'm still going to make that up. But all the floors are in it. It is looking damn good. So that's what's going on there. But on a good note, it's the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I have 8 cars, believe it or not, 8 of them. And I've got 4 that are on the road driving. And I got 4 that aren't. And usually every year I build one for myself. And it's been a couple years since I've gotten around to doing anything for myself. I've got a 58 Ford 2-door post that I bought off a friend of mine. Excuse me guys, I'm still got a bit of that cold hanging on. 58 Ford 2-door post I bought off a friend of mine. I'm going to say I've probably had this car for sure 7 years, possibly 9 years. The car's been off the road since 1978. And it came from the island. I believe it came over actually from Sechelt. And it wound up in New Westminster. And then my buddy got it. And he bought it, and he brought it over to me and wanted me to get it up and running, and there was something about it, because normally I do not like 58 Fords. Sorry, anyone out there has one. I just normally don't like them, but I'm not saying I would still take them over a new car any goddamn day, but normally I don't like them, but there's something about this one I liked. So when he phoned me up and he said, "Hey Rick, have you got my car up and running?" I said, "No, I want to buy the car off you." And he said, "Well, no, I can't sell you the car. I want you to get up and running because I want to make some money on it, and that's just the way it is." And I said, "Well, I want to buy it." He wouldn't give me a number. So he hung up, and 2 weeks later, he phoned me back again. He said, "How's my car running? How's it coming along? What's going on?" I said, "I told you, I'm not working on it because I want to buy it." So that was either 7 or 9 years ago, and I ended up getting the car. I ended up buying the car off him. Now when I bought it, it still had the original gray paint on it. And then I went and shot it a satin black. I don't know what I was thinking. I was going to go satin black with it. I shot it satin black, and I spent $4,000 having the interior all done, but the car still was not running. And then I don't know, but anyway, I've dragged this car around for numerous years, and I'm finally getting starting on it. So you're going to see videos on here under Old Time Garage again, but they're going to say part 1, part 2, part 3. Every time I work on my 58, I'm going to do a video showing you what's going on. So let's take a look at my 58 Ford. Okay. Because it's after hours and I'm working on my shit. Because that's it. So you can see, look at the dust and the dirt on that sucker. but I always kept her undercover. Now, one thing about this 58 Ford that I will say, and believe it or not, you guys may not, this car when I got it still had the original paint on it. Now, excuse me guys. This is a two-door post plain Jane 300 model. As you can tell, it's got the thinner side trim running down the side. It's a plainer car. And I think that's part of the reason I like it, because I like the plain side trim. Now this car, what I was about to say, has not got one single patch panel ever in it anywhere. There's not one area where it's had a patch panel welded in. Not in the floors, not in the trunk pan, not on the quarters, not on the doors, nothing. So all the interior is in my house in the basement. It's all done. I've got all brand new triple show plated chrome for it. As you can see, the stainless has all been done. But now, of course, I got to pull it all back apart because I've decided I'm going to paint this car. Now my carpets, look what happened to my carpets. I had the interior done around 6 years ago, and I had all the interior done, and after I did the interior, it sat outside in the sun, and look at how black fades. That's all new carpeting. Car's never been on the road, look at it. So I'm going to have to replace the carpeting. As you can see, all the chips and scratches in the steering wheel, that's all factory. Never been painted. All the dashboard is all the original paint. Now, of course, obviously, I had all new headliner put in it. So what we're doing with it today, and look at these floors, people. Here, let's see if we can lift this up a bit. Look at these floors. That what you're seeing there, this all what you're seeing is the original gray paint. All the original gray paint. Look at this. Look at this under here. Man. So if anyone likes 58 Fords, you better follow this video because it's going to be coming up for sale. Yes, we got ourselves a nice metallic moon steering wheel there that I'm probably going to put on there. But anyway, look at these rockers even. Look. Solid. Look at the doors all inside. There's absolutely, look at the door lips. Nothing. You know, it's just solid as a rock. Just all metal. So what we're going to be doing here is, my whole plan for this car, here's the front. Now somebody did this hokey ass brake job thing. I don't know what the fuck they were doing here. They were putting a dual master on, and look at these lines. This is how it came to me. What a mess. We're going to rip that shit off there. So anyway, what's going to go on here with my 58 Ford is I'm going to get the body. Old Dr. Dave's going to go out of the body. It's going to be so goddamn straight. It's going to be flawless. And we're going to go shiny, shiny black. As shiny as we can go and wet sand and polish it. Like I say, the interior is in the house. Everything is new. Everything is done. All I got to do is redo the carpeting, unfortunately, because how the sun got to it. It's all done in a nice, beautiful tuck and roll. But I kept the factory design. And it's done in a gray and black. We're going to leave the stock rims on it. We're going to paint them gloss black, and we're going to run the dog dish hubcaps. It's going to be on a bit of a rake, so the back end will be a little higher than the front, obviously. I'm putting it, this car was a 6-cylinder automatic. I've got a 302 all built up with 325 horsepower with a C4 automatic. The car's already got a good 9-inch in the back. We're going to pull it apart. We're going to put a posi unit in it, and we're going to rebuild all the suspension. We're going to go through everything and get her on the road for hopefully June. So it's the evening, and I'm going to pull the body off the frame tonight. And I'll come back to you and show you when I get off the frame. But I got everything new for the frame. I've got all new ball joints, all new control arm bushings. I got tie rod ends. I got pitman arm. I got idler arm. I bought all of it. I bought every single thing. So we're going to pull the body off the frame. Now I am not going to get carried away and take the frame out and have it sandblasted. I'm not building a Trailer Queen car. I'm going to get under there. I'm going to give the frame a good pressure washing, really, really good. Leave it soak with some good stuff overnight, pressure wash it. And then what I'm going to do is I've got a blaster here. I'll blast the real bad areas, but other than that, then I'm just going to throw some satin black paint on the frame and call it a day. And of course, all the pieces like the control arms and all this kind of stuff, when I've got them off, I'll clean them up and paint them up. But I'm not going to build it. I'm not going to build it so the bloody thing is absolutely flawless. If someone looks at this car and goes underneath it, they'll know it had a frame off restoration. But I'm not going to get to that point like some of the customer cars we do around here where we paint the frames like super nice and we powder coat them and we grind all the factory welds down and make them look smooth. We're not going to get that carried away at this car. We're just going to clean her up and make her look really good. So I'm glad to say I'm going to be working on my 58 Ford. There's something about this car, I just like it. Normally, like I say, I don't sell anything. I'm a hoarder. I hate to sell this car, but I got to sell this car. The business is booming here, and I just want, there's stuff I want to do around the shop. The shop is getting in need of a new roof, and you know all my bays that you guys have been watching. Last year I did the concrete and the lighting out there. Well, I want to concrete the other 2 bays, and I want to put some doors on, and I want to still put some lights in the far bays. So out of the 8 cars that I got, unfortunately for this car, this is the car that I would sell before any of the other ones. So, but you know, we're gonna get her done. We're gonna put insurance on it. Now I'm gonna drive it. I'm gonna drive it every day because I'm sure in the fuck ain't gonna give it away. It's not like I'm selling the car because I need the money. I'm just selling it because it's just the way it's got to go. And when the number comes along, it'll go. And if it don't come along, well, it won't go. It'll stay part of the family because that's just the way it is. So I'm gonna get working here, try and get this body off the frame. It's well, I don't know. The day's over now for me. It's 3 o'clock. I'm calling in a bit of an early day. I got a head start today. I started at 7, so. That's my hours are in for the day because I knew I wanted to work on my car. So it's 3 o'clock now, and I pray to God that I get everything disconnected and everything that I have to do here by myself, and hopefully by 6 o'clock I've got the body sitting on a cart and the frame's rolled out, and I'll get right back to you when I do. Okay guys, I'll see you in a moment. Or an hour or 2. Okay. Well, it's 5:30. When you guys seen me, it was 3 o'clock. Unhooked all the wiring, pulled the steering column, took the side trim off, dropped the gas tank out, unhooked all the fuel lines, unhooked all the e-brake stuff, undid all the body mounts. I had 3 that were really bad. The rest of them just came out no problem. So let's see what the hell goes on. 2.5 hours later, 1 guy. Let's see what happens. Far so good. Remember guys, the rock test. I think I told you guys about that before. Better to test it out for rocking on a hoist before you lift it way up in the air and it decides to topple over on you. Safety first, right? Never rush in doing anything. Take your time. Take your time. Always walk around, make sure everything's safe. The last thing I want to find out is one of my YouTube viewers isn't texting me or calling me or writing into my videos because he got in a hurry and something happened to him. We don't want to see that happen to you. Life is short already as it is. Look at that. There we go. Wow. Huh. I don't know what to say. I've been saying for 2 years I was going to start this car. I've had this car for, like I said, told you in the video at the beginning, I don't know, 7 years for sure, maybe 9. Started doing some work to it when I first got it, then it just sat forever. Just never get time to work on it. The shop's always busy, always got customer stuff on the go, and I very seldom get to put my own stuff in the shop because customer stuff comes first. And even with my car in here tonight, I had to kick the frame out, get the frame dropped down on the car, kick the frame out of here, get the body dropped down on the cart, put the body back outside under the lean-to, and roll the frame outside because I got to work in here during the day on customer stuff. So when most people are working on their stuff in the winter time, unfortunately for a guy like myself, because I got so many projects on the go for customers, I have to do my stuff more in the summertime because at least the weather's warmer and I can leave it sit outside at nighttime and don't have to worry about the rain and shit. So for being January still and being able to actually get this done, believe it or not, this is a huge thing to me. This means a lot. It really means a lot. Let's take a walk around. Let's take a look underneath her. Let's see what the hell goes on underneath this little 58 Ford. Like I told you, this car has been off the road since 1978. That was the last time it was on the road. Look at the trunk pan. Solid. All the mount areas where the mounts go up, solid. The back of the quarters, solid. Oh my God. Look at the wheel tubs. Nothing going on there but a couple spider webs. She's as solid as a rock. Floor pans, untouched, like I said. Step over the frame here. Wow. Wow. Very nice. A little bit of surface rust starting there, but all metal. And the mounts, I mean, look at this. For 1958, that's incredible. And the car is not all tarred up underneath either. It looks like it's got a light coat of maybe, it's almost like a texture spray like I use on there. I don't know whether, you know, maybe the guys that owned it in the past did that. But, I mean, look at that. She's all good. She's clean. There's nothing to really do underneath. There's nothing. I think maybe there's the worst case scenario right there. I don't even know if you can see that. There's a little bit of, it's not a hole, just a little bit of rust right there. That's it. Wow. And some of the undercoat is coming off, the old undercoat, but she's in good shape. And the frame, I mean, even look at the frame. I haven't cleaned this frame or nothing. Now, whether the other people that owned it before me did, I don't know. But I mean, look at the frame. Even the frame is in good shape. You know, I mean, look at the mounts. Look at, oh, I can't get them out, they're stuck, but look at these rubber mounts. Normally they're all flattened out. Like shit, you could reuse those if you want. But you know what? It's a part, I'm not going to reuse them. Because I just, I'm never going to take it back apart again, and may as well do it right the first time and clean that kind of stuff up. But the frame looks beautiful. So, the story goes on this car. Like I told you earlier, I bought it off my buddy who I wouldn't fix it for. I made him sell it to me. He bought it off a guy, I believe, in New Westminster. Now the guy in New Westminster found it over in Seashelt, over in the island there, and it had been taken off the road in '78, and the guys over there, they got an 8th mile track over there, and the guys that owned the car, they were gonna gut the bloody thing out, and they were gonna turn it into a race car, I guess. They were gonna run it down the 8th mile track, and then they gave up and they decided not to do it. So this guy New West got it, then my buddy got it, and now I've got it. And a couple years back, I was actually thinking about turning it into a gasser. You know, I thought, how cool would that be? A 58 Ford and big dual headlights in the front, gasser coming down the road. And what changed my mind was the fact that I looked this car over and it was just too good a shape, like you just saw yourself, to be cutting up. I mean, there's no patch panels in it. It'd be a shame to cut a car like that up. Not that I wouldn't. But it would just be a shame to do it. So I couldn't do it. And you know, for me, a gasser, gassers are out there now. Gassers have made a real comeback. But so many people are putting straight axles under their cars and they're like, I've got a gasser. I'm sorry, I don't want to insult you, but no, you don't. When gassers first came out, they were gutted. They never had fancy paint jobs. They didn't have full interiors. They didn't have all that kind of bullshit going on, the bling. They were covered in decals. They had a straight axle. The seats were taken out. The door panels were off. The dash was gutted. They had the minimal gauges they needed. There was a moon tank in the back. The moon tank wasn't just on there for show and a gas tank in the back. It ran on a moon tank with fuel in it. That was it. Most of them, the wheel wells were radius. You had your roll cage in there, and that's how they were. Now, don't get me wrong. In the 60s and that, you know, I mean, and then I'm assuming the 60s, when gassers came out, and then all of a sudden in the 60s, people started thinking, hey, fuck, is that ever cool? I want one of those to drive down the street. So then everyone was putting a straight axle in their car. But they were still leaving the interior or not. And everybody was like, I got a gasser now. But you don't have a gasser. Seriously, if you don't believe me, just look online. If you're a real period correct kind of guy, a gasser isn't, when you put a straight axle in your vehicle and that's it, you don't have a gasser. Don't think you do. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm sorry if I have insulted anyone, but that's not a gasser. If you're going to build a gasser, build it right and do it right. But anyway, that's not what we're on here about. Like I say, I was going to go a gasser on it, and it was a shame to cut this car up, so I didn't. So I'm real happy now. I'm going to get going on the frame. In the evenings, I'm going to start getting this frame cleaned up, get it all pressure washed. I'm going to put some good cleaner on there and pressure wash the shit out of it. Any major areas, I got a little sandblaster here, which I'll get in there and get. And then that's it. I mean, I am going to gut the frame right down. The diff's going to come out, leaf springs, all the front suspension, because I got everything brand new for it. So, hey, what can I say? I'm really happy tonight. I got to do something for myself. So remember, it's always a good time at Old Time, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. See ya.